If you told me I had to sit down for more than an hour and concentrate on something, I wouldn't pay you any attention. I thought I had more important things to do, and in reality, I would just go back to scrolling on Instagram. Today I look around my class, and more than half of it is like that. While I'm here more focused than I've ever been, they're either playing games on their laptop, scrolling on their phone, or just not here mentally. Either way, their mind isn't where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be right here in the present moment, focusing on what's really important on the lesson. What I did is I started cutting myself off from a bunch of distractions. Today we're going to be talking about a dopamine detox and how it can actually improve your life. What are its benefits and how you can get started. First, let's start off with what a dopamine detox is. A dopamine detox is a practice to add to your life that reduces the amount of fake dopamine from pleasurable activities, like watching motivational content on your phone. Those are the type of activities that we aim to reduce or completely remove from our lives. A dopamine detox can help you disconnect from unnecessary social connectivity. What do you think your parents did when they wanted to go outside with some of their friends? They didn't text them. They actually went outside and talked to them instead of sitting in their dark room with a million notifications they won't even plan on opening. A couple months ago when I was in school, I was looking over at someone's phone, not paying attention, I was just looking in the direction, and they were on Snapchat. I asked them to scroll down, and they probably had 200 unopened messages from people they didn't even talk to, people they didn't even know. They just added them on Snapchat for no reason. These people are addicted to attention, and this attention gives them easy dopamine. You ever notice these types of people? Maybe you're one of them. They they have all the notifications. They seem happy because they have them, but in reality, they're depressed. They're not happy. Just look at their faces. When they scroll on their phone, they're not happy that they're actually texting anyone. They're not texting anybody that they care about. They're texting random people. Dopamine detox aims to reduce this easy dopamine from instant gratification, from these pleasurable activities that make you happy right now. These instant pleasure activities give you just that instant pleasure, pleasure for that short period of time. But after, you'll be less happy than you were before. When you pick up your phone and you watch motivational content, you'll be happier, but then you'll start scrolling again, and then you'll go below what you were before, and you'll keep going and going. You would be happier right now, sure, but what about later? Later, you'd just be scared of your own thoughts that wouldn't have even been there if you hadn't touched that game or went on social media. If you hadn't done that instant gratification activity. Now, what if you don't do that instant gratification activity? What if you do hard work? What if you go to the gym or go on a jog instead of playing video games? Sure, you'll feel a bit worse because you're putting in effort, but after you'll feel much better than you were before because you did that hard activity. You know that you're doing better. Instead of having those dark thoughts saying, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, you'd actually be proud of yourself from doing hard activities. You'd say, yeah, I'm happy. I could have maybe done a bit more, but at least I didn't slack off. At least I wasn't lazy. At least I did something hard. As humans that are part of nature, we're usually drawn to do the easier option. But in order to grow as people, as humans, we sometimes have to do the harder thing. If you're always giving yourself second chances and doing the easier activity, then you'll always be beaten by the people who do the harder thing, who always live up to their potential, who never let themselves down. You'll always be beaten by those. What if you did that hard thing over and over and over again until it finally pays off? You might have a good house, a good wife, cars, whatever. Now imagine you do the easier thing. That house, the car, your wife, all of those things, they're with someone else. All because you chose to do the easier option. Because you were lazy. You didn't feel like doing it. If you don't do the harder option, the better option, then there's always going to be someone better than you beating you. Doing the easy thing right now, instant gratification, might give you pleasure right now, but it'll only plunge you further into a depression. It'll only make you less unhappy later. But if you're doing the hard work now, then you're lifting yourself up higher than you've ever been, higher than you previously were before you did that. It's the difference between trading today for tomorrow and tomorrow for today. Doing the hard thing today so it's easier tomorrow, or doing the easier thing today and doing the harder thing tomorrow. I bet this has happened to you. You're lying in bed early in the morning, late at night, whenever, and you're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, and you come across an Andrew Tate motivational speech. He starts to tell you that you're lazy and that you have to hit the gym to get the life that he has. You start getting excited. This motivation builds inside of you. But then you like the video and then you go back to scrolling. Why would you willingly go brain dead for a couple hours a day scrolling on Instagram? Because you're addicted to dopamine. You're addicted to easy sources of dopamine. Have you ever sat down and had a real conversation with someone? Probably not. Most of your conversations have probably been like talking to a brick wall. You're talking about something, and the person you're talking to is sitting there, just not paying attention. You can tell by their eyes that their mind is elsewhere. You're talking about something, and they're looking at you like this. They're probably thinking about video games, girls, stupid shit, when they should be actually paying attention to the conversation, actually being a friend. Now let's talk about some practices that you can add to your life. These practices won't make you feel better tomorrow or so quickly. They'll set you up for a better future where you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Number one, delete social media. You might be coping right now saying, "Oh, but what do I do with my spare time?" What type of question is that? Work. Work on something that makes you happy, something that you're passionate about. Live your life. Build relationships with the people around you. That's what life's about. That's what us humans are meant to do. We're social creatures. We're not like bats in a cave. We sit there doing nothing. We're meant to be in tribes of people. We're meant to be in a community. But if you spend all day on your phone scrolling, then it's just going to be you and your thoughts. You're not going to have anybody close to you. Social media is probably the biggest drug of today's world. Some people literally can't live without it. Their life revolves around it. These people that are on social media all day, they'll be like, "Oh, have you seen the new fashion brand? Whatever." And then someone that doesn't use social media sits there and thinks, I don't care. Why would I care about that?" Social media could be considered like a vape. Some people are so addicted to it that if some people go without it for more than a couple of minutes or hours, they'll literally start going crazy. They're so tied up in all of the stupid shit that's happening in today's world that they can't even take a moment and sit in silence. They don't have the mental capacity to do nothing. A couple months ago, I was talking to someone I know, and they asked me what I thought about this rapper or whatever that did something that apparently went viral. I told them I had no idea who that was, and their reaction was literal confusion. They couldn't comprehend the idea of me not knowing someone popular. If you use Snapchat for texting people, then delete that shit right now. All those messages don't care about you. They're like you, but they don't care about you. They're all addicted to having so many messages on their phone. They're in it for the easy dopamine. What you can do is substitute it for an app that's meant purely for texting, like WhatsApp or the Messenger app on your phone. Number two, delete all games. This is pretty obvious, but video games are another one of the biggest time wasters of today. How many hours do you actually spend playing video games a week? Just calculate it. A year ago, for me, during a school year, would have been maybe 20 plus, 30 even. You probably play games because your life sucks and because you want to live like somebody else. You play GTA because you have all those cars. You want those cars in real life, but you don't have them. So you just play games. But you hear me out. Instead of being unhappy by your life and playing video games where you are happy, why not just work until you build that life? Because it's hard. Excuses. You're coping. You won't get anywhere in life until you start putting in the work. Number three, food. What's the last thing you ate? Sweets, chips, pop. If you ate something like that, something light or sugary, that should tell you a lot about yourself. You're unhappy with your life. Show me someone who has achieved everything they ever wanted in life. Show me someone who has achieved true happiness. Do you think these people are wasting their times destroying their bodies with these shit foods? No, obviously not. They'll be eating what humans were actually meant to eat: farm meat, real food. I think it's important to find out the perfect primal diet for you because that's what people were really meant to eat. We aren't meant to eat fries or burgers. Right now, I eat a lot of meat with a side of maybe rice and other stuff. Number four, porn. I'm sure you've heard all the rage on social media the past couple of months about why porn is bad for you. But if you keep watching it, let me ask you something. What good does it bring? Really? Instant gratification. That's the only thing it brings to you. It gives you a short burst of dopamine, instant gratification. It makes you more focused on trying to have sex. I want you to do something. Don't watch porn for a week. Every time you get the urge, either do two things. Either distract yourself with something productive, something good for your life, something that could add meaning, like reading a book, working on something you're happy about. Or two, sit down and notice this urge. Do nothing except face it. Sit in silence and face this urge head on, fighting it as hard as possible. Number five, music. This might sound really weird, but do you listen to music in the gym? Probably. But why? In the gym, you're supposed to be focused on lifting weights. You shouldn't be distracted by music. Now let me ask you, what does music really bring you? Motivation? That short burst of dopamine from the artist singing about fucking bitches or making money? Sure, there's some fine, okay music, but most of it influences you in ways you don't want. Do you really need music to hype yourself up or calm yourself down? Why not just train to do it yourself? Then you wouldn't have to rely on external factors. The only thing that would be keeping you from doing something is yourself. If you implement a dopamine detox into your life properly, then what you consider success is almost inevitable. The main reason people are unhappy is because they aren't where they want to be in life. They aren't where they want to be in life because they aren't willing to make sacrifices. A dopamine detox is exactly that. It helps you make sacrifices. I think it's also important to note that not doing some of these, but still resisting them, can also benefit you greatly, as it might not distract you, but it increases willpower. The next time you get the urge to do something like eat junk food, resist it now, and you'll resist it later.